Hey, so tonight I thought I'd run through a couple of little visuals, metaphors type ideas that I've been having to, I don't know, give people another view of a few different, I don't know, historical kind of, I guess, puzzle pieces that, have kind of clicked into place for me about the whole, awakening thing and the metaphorical nature of all, our history, so many of our stories, and the ideas that we're still, trying to grasp from, the wisdoms hidden within all these stories. And, especially as, the thrice greatest is, at my back constantly, constantly, on my right shoulder and left shoulder, right shoulder. He's a bit of both, I think. Yeah, it's that anvil, the devil angel, at the crossroads. Devil angel, anvil, the metal worker, the smith, the blacksmith, the 50 Shades of Grey smith. Anyway, the metal man, Mercury, moulding metal, the alchemists, the stories, the metaphors behind all this, the alchemical initiation journey, the initiate's journey, like all this stuff are all metaphors on how we mold ourselves, rebuild, we born ourselves anew. We you know what I mean, like we remake ourselves, we hammer ourselves until we get that sword into, we work that metal until it's a katana. You can work that metal until it's like a pickaxe, until it's just a slab of metal, or you can continue working your metal until it is a freaking samurai sword katana. It is the same with anything, it's all that mastery. It's what you put into it, to build yourself and work on yourself, what you get out of it. And this is, the metaphors in all the stories. They use so many in all these beautiful, beautiful stories. They're so well written, some of them, all the epics and, Iliads and, Shakespeare, Hermes did it, Thoth, Tar, the Gemini man, Jiminy Cricket, Jesus taught it, the story of Moses, the story of Noah. Anyway, there's a lot of different stuff going on there with those stories, but the Bible in itself, like Enoch, and anyway, there's just a million of them, right? And some of them are beautifully written, and the stories in them are fantabulous. The gist, the trismegistus of the stories and the metaphors, it's the lessons found within. There's another one I forgot. There's the Agrippa. So many. There's just so many, and they're all teaching us lessons on how to freaking smack our metal until it's looking like a usable tool. Until we get the hang of this, there is something to be said for mastering one's metal and becoming, getting Smithsonian, the museum, a muse. Oh my god, anyway, my brain literally does a number on me when I'm getting all this freaking information put in. But anyway, so I wanted to just touch on a couple. If I can focus my katana blade. If I can, I don't know what it is. It's that brain focus is the katana. It's the katana blade. You gotta angle it right to cut the slices of meat just fine. My hand's a little bit still shaky with this blade mastery, but this is another one that's been popping into my head. The Japanese art of ikigai, which is the joy in mastering mastering the task it's an art form. And that is, the Japanese have such a beautiful way where this mastery, or this skill being an art, whether it is slicing a piece of salmon, whether it's making that sword, whether it's pouring a cup of tea as a geisha, that one little movement of the pot and the fingers, or painting the face, walking, making the kimono, the creativity and the creation and honing that skill to the point of mastery, and having the pride and dedication in that, in oneself, realizing the art form of you and what you do, and it's all an extension of you, and it is the flow. It's really the infinite loop of you within, and what you do with on the out, without, on the in, above, below. It is all one, type kind of thing. We are an art form, or I'll try and hone this back in, because it kind of goes everywhere. They do assist me greatly, but it's a lot to take in. This information, it's a lot to get all this information that I receive out in a reasonably understandable way. But anyway, so I'll just touch on a couple of things, because there's one, everyone knows, the caduceus, which is Hermes' symbol, which is the two snakes around the rod, the staff, and at the top there the staff has wings, there's a little golden ball and a rod, and the two snakes entwined and wings at the top. So I've played with this symbol a little bit, with the idea with the snakes. I mean it is a lot of people know what this symbol pretty much means, and it is that, you know, like the climb we make to the top. And the snakes represent, you know, the frequency, the movement of our energy rising, and, you know, wings at the top. It's kind of straightforward, but like I saw this video the other day which reminded me, and it was, you know, like snakes mating. And you know how snakes mate. And I think, you know, this is what it really represents, is the male and female snake within us mating, rising our energy and giving us wings, and a little golden ball at the top, which is like that sovereign crown. And I've talked about this before, because I mean, it is absolutely key that we realize the duality of ourself, which, you know, right, left brain, masculine, feminine, positive, negative, you know, like electric, magnetic forces within us, and this snake mating rising up our column, as like you've got to get a good mate happening in order to squeeze that energy and fluid to rise it up our spinal column, to get our golden pineal ball to give, you know, open, and the wings for the wings to open and our mind to be blown, and so, you know, we have our wings and we can fly. But yeah, it's this aspect of mating our two sides together that I wanted to touch on, because if you look at it like that, it'll help you understand the importance of becoming whole. I mean, what does mated mean? Mated, mating, the mating of a pair, the mating of a man and a woman. Think of that, like the mating, a good, like a soul mate. I mean, this is what it is. It's like mating our soul together. And a good and a good mating, a good mated pair is, I mean, what is that? I mean, it makes you think. And if we can't do that for ourselves, then that's where we start. If we don't know, because that's where we need to start within ourselves. We need to mate with the other half of us. You know, if there's one half of us that is bitching and attacking the other half, it's not going to be, that mating will never truly take place. Think of in the animal kingdom, like the swans, you know, even how they wrap their necks around each other. You know, these pairs that mate for life. If this is our life, our, you know, soul mating taking place, and if we're at each other's throats within here, if we're not happy with ourselves, we're not going to mate with ourselves. And this is the hammering the steel type, turning it into an art form. Of loving ourselves, of mating ourselves, choosing ourselves to mate with. Like, you know, would you pick you to mate with? Like, you know, it's kind of that type of thing. So I kind of wanted to play, you know, put that idea out there so we can really play with that idea and realize the importance of this dual nature that we all have of the masculine, feminine, right, left brain, magnetic, electric, creative, logical, you know, making those two halves a whole union, like reunionizing ourselves. We're hammering those two parts of us together. We're heating it, mating it, you know, provide that mating, providing the heat, and until we're joined. And that's when you get this, you know, this unionization within you, that you're solid. It's the self-sovereignty, and that gives you your crown, that gives you your wings. That makes you a king, or that makes you a queen. When, you know, royal, sovereign, it gives you your wings, monarch, butterfly, you know, you have fertilized yourself, I don't know, gold coins. Yeah, you've done, you know, that's the lotto win. You've reached the gold, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, that type of thing. So it is that important that you do that work, that hammer, anvil, both sides aspect of yourself, devil, angel, that you really come to terms and accept and embrace and mate with your true self. And that's the alchemist, that's the magician's kind of, the fool's journey, you know, the initiate's path, that you're willing to hammer yourself, and keep hammering yourself until you've really joined all aspects of yourself and mated them, welded them together to create this weapon of the true sovereign you. A beautiful shiny piece of gold metal, you know, lead to gold. That's the water to wine. That's the you know, point of the story. Yeah, I kind of also, I was just doing a little bit of note taking before I did this to get a little bit more information. So Hermes, Mercury, Thoth, Anubis, it's all the same. So yeah, so I kind of got that, like the caduceus in itself is, you know, about it's like wisdom and knowledge and, you know, that kind of thing. And I kind of just get that, you know, these two snakes, it's the blended wisdom. It's the blended wisdom of both sides of ourselves, angel, devil, masculine, feminine, magnetic, electric, good, bad, like whatever, man, woman. It's just bringing those two sides, and all the wisdoms you learn from both sides, by the way, all those lessons, and it's like putting them all in the pot and mixing it until, you know, and I guess putting all those bits of metal and melting them until they're all melted, and then molding yourself anew. version, like, okay, so this is all me, and that's great. I'm not in pieces anymore. I'm now a solid metal gold, solid gold me type thing. So yeah, kind of got the soul has been mated, remated. I also kind of thought about that, even the look of the snakes. So even play with the idea on how that actually looks. Like the symbol itself looks like, you know, snakes and ladders. It kind of looks like, you know, because it's a 2D kind of symbol, and it looks like it's just, you know, climbing up, but you know, it's meant to be wrapped around, like they're circling the staff and meeting at the top, right? And you know, play with the visualization of, like, from the top. Yeah, like from the top, that it actually looks like the Ouroboros. So, you know, flip that Hermes symbol and then look at it as the Ouroboros, which is, it's the same. It's like the two snakes eating each other's tail. And so then that kind of shows that the snake's flow is actually in opposite directions, which is then kind of like the 69, the feminine, masculine, 69 actually meeting and eating each other's tail, creating the 8 infinite loop. Or you could think of it as becoming whole and eating each other's tail. The 69, the yin yang symbol. So imagine that, like, yin yang symbol stirring really quickly and becoming one whole color. And that's what it's all about. That's what you get at the top. You get the golden ball when the yin and yang actually combine and they're not separate anymore. You've welded, you've melded, you've melted and reformed that into just one golden ball. And you can also think of it like with the energy spiral, like it's also not like a flat, you know, the snakes aren't just a flat circle, so you can also think of it as a tornado, like I was talking about on my last video, that, you know, these snakes creating this tornado of energy. And if you get that movement and mating action, you know, really good, you get the sweet spot through the middle of the spinal cord, which literally blows the roof off your head. And, you know, you get to your spin starts moving fast enough. The mating is a really good mating, and the spin and the flow starts to go faster and faster and faster, creating the suction, like the energy sweet spot of the eye of the storm, which pops your top off and your third eye opens and you get your wings, and then, you know, that tornado is set in place. And that tornado is actually like You know, you've seen those energy drawings of the chakras, and that our energy body is a sphere. Like, we're standing on the ground, and if you can imagine a full energetic sphere going all the way around us, like only half our energy bubble is like above the ground. So we've got this dome above the ground and then a dome under the ground. Like, that's how big our energy field goes. Like, it doesn't stop at the ground. Like, our energy flows all the way through everything. So we're always half connected above. As above, so below. This is exactly the thing. Like, we've got all this other like goodies underneath us, like, and connecting and really feeling into that energy space that is beneath the ground, which, you know, is literally immersed in Mother Earth, and really, you know, feeling that is a big part of furthering our bubble as well. And I also kind of got, because I do this little drawing, because it is so much like a butterfly, right? Like, you go through, you know, the little snakes wrapped around there, and little chakras climbing up, and then like the little golden head and the wings, and then this is our energy body coming out here. So we literally become the butterflies. And, you know, I was thinking of that book, you know, The Hungry Caterpillar. So, you know, you got to keep eating, and getting bigger and bigger and bigger before you can make your cocoon and do that melting, so you can get your, you know, break out and get your wings and become the monarch, which is the sovereign crown, which is, you know, the ruler, the royal, you know, you are, you know, that sovereign being in charge of yourself, the king and the queen within you, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's that one. I was going to do another one, but I don't know. I'll do another one next time. So yeah, I'll leave that one there for today. Yeah, so have a think about all these different ways to look at it, and, you know, really have a think about what is a true mate. Like, because we really need to understand this in order to create that within ourselves. And, you know, at the same time, it really makes us realize what a good, healthy relationship, you know, with a partner should be, could be, and the lessons within that for all of us. And it goes hand in hand. You know, these learnings, as we're learning about ourselves and what it really takes to love ourselves and become whole within ourselves, and really what that means, it really helps us see how beautiful a relationship should be, could be, and, you know, will be. Yeah, and that we can make that with our metals, welded, melded and soul-mated together.